well to put this team together, and the way that they've grown, they've got themselves into EWC. Absolutely fantastic. Teams have struggled to find a way to beat them. That's the top and bottom of it, and I think they've...
Of course, one or two have been consumed as well, but look at the time, Tim. We're down to 45 seconds. Another concuss comes on through. Just double impact him at this point, Tim. Why not finish it all off?
Pasha swings around, gets the kill onto Groovy, but is time going to become an issue for Virtus.pro? Their final push is starting to begin. Neko is going to try and get himself into long desk here, get aggressive. They know they've got the Azami to deal with. They managed to do so. Skies gets the kill. They did lose the shield along the way, but it might not be the end of the world. Leaves them now in a 4 versus 3. 15 seconds left to go. Skies needs to be careful. He's the one with the diffuser in hand here. He doesn't want to be dropping that in no man's land, as they don't have time to fix it. 10 seconds. He knows there's one behind the desk. They have no idea of his position. He's going to try to put that diffuser down. It's all up to the Wamai to fight out of the closet. Can't do it. Utility and range shots in on them from above. We see the Nitro go out, doesn't do any damage. Pasha has taken a little bit of chip, but Neko's going to take a lot more as Yupo manages to find him and take him down. 4 versus 4, yes it is, but quickly traded out as Ask manages to find Rorik, downs him and takes him out in the remnants of that toxic vape canister that was left alive. How about that from Dan? Beautiful use of that Soliton radar. Pops around the corner, finds his man. 3v3.
Just a ludicrous gadget, isn't it, as well? You basically know exactly where to pre-fire, and away he comes to the kill off the back of it. Pasha almost finding one through the floor. We heard about this a little bit yesterday, by the way, as well. Double F2s. Definitely becoming a big thing right now. The gun's a little bit crazy. DMR still extremely powerful, but why not when you've got the opportunity? Yupa trying to just like hunt through the floor here. Second time asking, can't quite find his man. Maybe on the third he will, but the plant now going down. Skies got himself in a spot where they can't challenge him yet, and here we go. The upstairs challenge. Dan is just a little bit better in the moment. Hits the 3, and that's what you've got to do if you're going in for a plant. You've got to hit.
Pro have got themselves established in servers now, or they're kind of pushing towards it. Yupo's still there, ready for the fight, and we are going to see now that the Thatcher has moved on. That wall opened up at the front as well, but how about this? It's not going to matter. The backside attack has fallen apart, Des.
You know what, it's been a really good defense from Geekay though. 3 players stationed out there. Most importantly, all of them with C4s. I'd say look at the bottom left corner of your screen, but you can't see it now.
Looking at that and taking advantage from it. Coming off the back of the tactical timeout as well, just gives them sitting in that position.
I mentioned this on social media earlier that like someone asked my opinion on the changes, and I said I kind of feel like there's almost like a soft counter thing being set up over there with the Sophia and with the Wamai. You just see it in action there. Two of the concussions being used to burn through the magnets when Nade could follow. It was a cool way to make sure they definitely got that wall opened up, and I think you'll see more of that. However, as much as they get the entry, Starks is there for a response, and it is that Sophia that's going to fall down. Neko onto the full plant spot that I was on about. Smokes in deep, but Rorik ain't going to be able to help here, Tim. He's on his backside. They're basically trying to raw dog a plant here, Tim. I'm not too sure about that one, but right now, no one's pushing him. I say that, and they've got underneath. Starks is there, Tim. 2 for him in the round, down to the last 5 seconds. This one looks a little bit over, I'm afraid, as Ask gets one more. Skies is all that's left. This round's going the way of Geekay. It's going to be 2-2.
Really well defended by Geekay there. I was looking.
Story on the upstairs. They can, of course, keep him at bay for a short amount of time with the smokes. However, I'm slightly mindful we're at that halfway point in the round, Tim, and they've already started to run out of tools to slow down the other side with. And sure enough, the killing starts. Rorik on towards Groovy. And comes down on towards top of the spiral as well. And the swing comes in. Sky's finding his man. The trade is there. And Dan's the one now trying to step across. But sure enough, Yupa knows exactly where he is. He's not going to get baited into that one. So for now, they can pause, Tim. They've still got the man advantage with that constant 1-for-1 trade, and the Candela coming in around the corner here. Shot out just in time, but Yupa for now is white screened as the second and the last one comes around from Rorik.
Top floor just being really hotly contested at the minute. Geekay not willing to give it up, but Virtus.pro, I think they're about to force them. They take Yoga down, and that leaves Ask and Yupa in bad positions. They manage to escape with a double. Yupa manages to find 2, and they drop back to site. 35 seconds left to go, and that is a hammer blow to the Virtus.pro attack here, to their effort, because now they've got to be flexible. They've got to adapt. They've got to come up with a plan B quickly.
Not too sure about this one, Tim. Virtus.pro starting to look a little more Virtus.pro than anything else, I'm afraid. But we did also see in a round yesterday when Dan was still up, they pulled out some mythical clutches. It was brilliant. So there's still a chance they can get it done. I'm just worried about the clock. And there we go. Dan, it's this guy. What is wrong with him the last 2 days? He's so on it. They get the final 2 kills.
Good job of just holding them at bay. Yuko does take some damage there whilst they're escaping back to site, but this is where the real pain point is going to come. Vertical control is in the hands of Virtus.pro now, so they can start pressuring site, but Sarks, what a big good one to pick up. He finds solid Snake, taking Dan off the board.
Yeah, I mean, again, Dan's been having a brilliant couple of days so far, so you'll always be grateful for getting rid of him too early on. Also with the operator who's playing, as you say, the Snake. Live a dream, turning into a second and then into a third. This is looking great now for Geekay. They will get that 3-3 half. Unless Neko can do something a bit magic. We're yet to find a kill for himself. I don't think that's going to change. I say that, Tim. He manages to find himself one. But now being surrounded, it seems on all sides. He's reloaded. No! He needed the one-tap headshot, but didn't quite find it, unfortunately. The Skies, he'll bring one back. But with 3 more to find, there's no way he gets away with this. Gets one down. Hold up. Wait a minute. As gets the close. 3-3 half.
Cool finish.
Of course, with the combine time now generating faster. Going into the bans here, I mean...
All of the control on the ground floor without having to drone, it's a very strong one. And then
half a second rather than 1.5 seconds. So everything about Ramai quicker. And he's got a nitro now instead of impact.
For it!
And in case you are curious, it's in Ramai in 4 of the 6 rounds. Sophia in 2 of the 6 in that first half. Of course, so far 100% for both coming into the first round. Either way, keep an eye on them, so I imagine you'll only see them more as the day wears on. Now, something about going aggressive here, and getting rid of Nacro was a brilliant start. You removed the Chunk, you've removed the plant denial, but now they're just being sniffed out with everything else they're trying to do. Managed to get rid of at least the Sens on the other side. There's a great response to the kill coming in from below. Rorik gets himself one immediate response back, but upstairs, the killing does not stop. Skies with it all to do to try and recover Tim. Someone watching out there on towards the breach. He should be dead to right. Managed to almost get across, but no, has been pushing aggressively. Sarks not wanting to let his man slip away.
There's a barricade there.
He was going for Yupra, who was trying to open the wall. He was trying to assist his teammate. This is a really cool bit of play we've got going on, but then missed him and hit Yok instead. It was brilliant. Either way, Askisdown managed to punish Dako, who was on the other side of that wall. Overplayed.
With these players out on the roam, are they going to be in trouble? It looks like they're just trying to hit site here, though.
Well, I don't know, you know. Almost got himself chewed up there a little bit. I think this guy's just realised on the backside, and sure enough, as one comes on through, it's a flash. Not that he cares, because elsewhere, Dan is frying. He's down to a single point of HP, Tim, but he won't care. It's 4 versus 2. They almost bottled one of these early on, so I want to see Virtus.pro be careful about how they play the rest of this. But realistically, this should be a spot where they feel very, very comfortable to see the round over the line. Even got a C4 and a couple of impacts to play with. Basher comes out with a shotgun. Ask gets a freebie on towards Skies. He shows a bit too much of himself, and Dan hits the 3K in the round. They've still got Candela to go off. They've still got smokes to go down. It's not an awful lot for him to worry about. It's got to actually pull the trigger down and say go. Not like that.
Scars pops out, manages to get this. They just didn't clear these operators out of the top floor. Like I said, you know, not necessarily skipping steps here. They've just had difficulty doing it. Absolutely love that, actually. Pasha just dropped the hatch and got that kill from below when they knew somebody had come in through the window. But yeah, an inability to get, you know, clear top floor out. Clear.
Slightly awry, then they're geniuses, and it looks like a brilliant round. Because I thought the game...
He's got the closet wall open as well. So again, Geekay are actually ticking boxes here. They've got those gadgets deployed to just hide the space, but they didn't know that they've left themselves exposed. Rorik manages to find one, but the trade is there. 4 versus 4 are down onto Groovy though. So Virtus.pro still in control here, despite Geekay getting the things they need done, creating that space that they needed. They haven't been able to get in there yet.
But you can see that mystery machine that we were speaking about earlier in full flow. The Shanker pellets raining out, smoke coming down. They're just ready for anything that comes into them, and sure enough, 2 more kills come their way. I thought for a second then surely Sarks would get something, but no. 4 quick kills in succession there from Virtus.
Pasha just continuing to challenge on that angle. He knows he's up against the SMG secondary, so decides with the shotgun he's more likely to come away with the win, but he doesn't, as Yupo manages to get that kill. 4v3, but 15 seconds to go, Des.
Absolutely, the spot with the C4 at the ready as well. Although they've got numbers advantage. Sees the drop come up through. Oh! You just saw it lining up in the outlines, but Sarks out of nowhere in for a 3K in the round. Dan, I've already sang his praises God knows how many times. Now he's going to do it all against 2 as that diffuser is going to go down. The angle is there. Got the right idea on towards the man, but has managed to make the cross. And this is where things now start to get a little bit nervy for the side of Geekay. Does he know where the second man is? He sees the diffuser, must know that the man himself is sat on the diffuser itself. C4 up over the top and gets 1. Got him back to the 3K, but no! Sark's a little bit closer, collects a 4 in the round. So it's the right call from Geekay to come up here and fight and try and take ground, but really what it says is Virtus.pro trying to waste time if they can get away with not losing any players, which they're doing well so far. have got themselves the entry on towards Ask. Got one onto Uper as well. 5 versus 3. Looking great for Virtus.pro, Tim.
I honestly thought Rorik was going to take Skies out then, but it didn't quite pan out that way. Managed to get the kill instead, and they've lost the verticality, they've lost the sledge. Pasha manages to take out Ruby, manages to get Yoga, and it just fell apart after those first couple of kills. Virtus.pro, they take Constellar.
Lost this year, and the Virtus.pro have lost every time they've played it. Has to be banned.
Forward we're having absolutely no more.
Open to catch one on the window as soon as Groovy tries to step his way through, but at least it stands. Ain't happening. Almost gets blown sky high, and now he's inside. C4 up and over, and that is well played by Nako. Held his nerve, survived the nade, and gets the kill onto the shield.
I love that from him there. It just shows the fine mark.
Inside of it. Just take away some of the threat of it. This is where the Twitch is really starting to get some work done. Yog and Dan, the 2 Twitch players in the lobby. Yog certainly getting value out of those shock drones early on. Speaking of Dan, here he comes with a kill. Ask to fall and a kill through the floor. That is great from Sarks. Catches out Dan at least for a trade. 4 versus 3.
Brilliant kill, like you say, up through that vertical angle on that sort of a lean, if you will. He was coming from the door, shooting right across. Brilliant stuff. Gets his man, but can't get any more than a second. Pasha takes him down, and it's going to be a top floor hold from Virtus.pro. They looked really, really good to EMP. All it's going to do is stop the electrification, and that's not really the problem because they don't have a shield. So it's, you know, they're not looking towards the shield for it. It's just about that cover. How about that from Skies as well? Jaeger having less recoil now, by the way. He's going to be one of the operators that has been buffed as well, or different recoil is maybe a better example. But Skies is putting it to great use. 416 is singing right now.
And of course, not forgetting 3-speed too. As Charco tweeted it, he's like Jaeger 3-speed, and he had the meme of like a red lightsaber extended. I was like, yep, he'll be enjoying that one when we get into stage 2. Either way, Sky's finally shut down by Sarks. There is a trade there once again. Virtus.pro are going to hold on. You know, GK were looking better, I'd say, but once again, Tim, the opportunity sees the head, but Yupa does not quite pull the trigger in time. No entry to come on through. All really equal because Skies and Groovy are both also sat around the same HP for now. But once again, Virtus.pro have put up this wall that's proving quite hard to break. I say that, Tim, and it just collapses down like a stack of Legos. It's gone out of nowhere. 3 kills have fallen by here. Rorik and very much all alone up here now on the clash. If I'm GK, I'm thinking, cool, let's just hit side. We've got a 5 versus 2. This is ours for the taking. They also get the kill on towards Nako. This could be a flawless round, Tim.
It is theirs for the taking now. You've got Rorik, who becomes less and less powerful as time goes on. Every time one of his teammates dies.
Okay, but things can be turned around, no problem. Bands that they will lean in towards.
Here, as it is a warden that you're pushing into.
They also look at the spot that it's in, right? We've been here before. But we also saw at the head of the show, Leo doing a replay about their execute yesterday onto this part of the map from GK and how they punished Fnatic there. They basically had someone charging towards box from double window. Here, it's not necessary.
So he's just sort of taking that risk of using that long angle through to piano window. He moves around too much, so gives himself away. Groovy picks him up easily. That's going to be 5 versus 2, and it's over now as GK start to flood on in. It's up to Pasha. 1v5 becomes a 1v4 as he does pick up the first. Does he get the second?
Nice.
Yes. Manages to find Upor. It starts to become a little bit more possible here, but with the track on him, it was always going to be difficult. Taken down at the half wall, and that's going to be GK leveling things. Smart use of the smokes there has got it done, and the Aruni has had to drop away, but they're unaware of library box. Nako getting aggressive and pushing up.
Get them down on even the box doorway itself, and you have enough to tag on towards Nako in that position. Finally gets the punish as Groovy hangs on that window, shows a bit of patience, and they do manage to finish him off. 4 versus 4. Now they've probably got to try and push a bit more heavily in towards this lobby side of things to put pressure in at range rather than relying on utility. Pasha with the previous starts had no idea what was going on, and now he can disappear into the bowels of the map.
Yeah, that's a really big problem for GK because they don't have time to deal with him, but they know that he can go up solo stairs and flank across. They don't have a nomad, so there's nothing to have dealt with those flanks. Really big problem. That's exactly what Pasha does. He comes and gets another, and he's just, there you go, he just continues to challenge. Skies picks up the last and that I spoke about and the way they benefited from them before. However, Pasha is waiting on library stairs. Surely they cannot allow him to slip the net again. Beautiful aggression coming out of Rorik. Manages to take down Starks. Can he get himself a second? No. Grubit is there for the trade. So 4 versus 4. And you can see GK starting to operate around that fireplace area again. Really getting some strong advantage. But it's that man Pasha, as always, pops up. Only got 30 seconds left to go. Big problem for them because they don't really have enough control, I don't think, to get in and put this defuse. As you can see, they're just going to get hit from long range. Dan with a double. That's almost certainly the round. 15 seconds. Yupo tries to get things going, but Skies takes him out. 4-2 half. I think it was the minimum.
Against Geekay. And that's exactly what VP did again today. But they get the 4-2 half. And I think realistically it's because they've been that good. Plus a little bit of flair. You know, Pasha's running around on the phone.
Yeah.
Going absolutely crazy. Dan's got the DMR.
Charge him down. Very close. He's got to be careful about the flash coming on through. Pasha going dangerously low at the same time. They really want to get rid of someone, Tim. And sure enough, Rorik is there for the collapse. Great bit of team play from...
He moved a lot of the time. So look, he still does it. He's still keeping himself alive. If he comes away with a kill here, it is absolutely criminal. Yupo manages to find Rorik. 3 versus 4. 30 seconds left. Grubby does get taken down now.
What I really liked was his read that the player challenging an office window wasn't actually on the balcony, he was on the rappel, so wouldn't be able to challenge him if he got towards top stairs, which is where he's at for a long time, but the pressure got to him a little bit too much. He tried to get away, and he paid the price. 2 players going down. It's Skies and Yogg in a 1v1 with 10 seconds to go, but Skies in a great spot to go for a plant here. Just get that diffuser down. Every second that he's wasting here could end up being punishing. They've got no information upstairs. Instead, he'll just hold here. Diffuser to go down, sees his man at range, and Yogg's got him just in the nick of time. Tim, I think we might even look back at that small hop over the bed.
And a few outdoor peaks. Gaining results over the last couple of days. Look at this aggression coming in from Naquo. Really desperate to get up in their faces here. But again, it's that teamwork. Rorik is the one to find the kills. Guys on to ask. 5 versus 3. Virtus.pro are just going at this at a million miles an hour. Naquo is eating.
What he's up there hunting is those mine magnets, those mirror windows, anything he can to help his team out. Another smoke comes in deep. Got to be careful. The C4 from Yupa came out, but found nobody. Yogg hits the deck. Dan dangerously low, finally finished off by Sarks. Pasha into another, and Sarks, bless his heart and soul, has got it all to do.
20 seconds left to go, though. He can play for time a little bit here and just try and force some mistakes, some unexpected situations for Virtus.pro. If the blitz drops their hats in front of him, this is an absolute beauty. He gets... Oh, it lined up. I thought for a second he was going to do it. The blitz just gave him everything he needed.
So far protecting his feet, but a little bit of chip coming on through. Going in for a pistol fight, but going out none the wise on it, and Groovy finally gets away with the kill. Great defending by him. Really is a demon of Mez.
If these areas that they are not protected from. How about this, though? Pasha just going for a little wander up library stairs, but going to be taken out by Ass. Looks like Geekay are looking pretty comfortable on this dining defense. There's been absolutely no pressure towards site whatsoever, by the way.
No, I mean, again, it's really good work by Geekay. They've shown the right amount of aggression. They've stood up well to the initial utility dump coming out of the other side. Groovy still remains on move. Skies gets one back, but that, I imagine, might be all he finds. If he's lucky, maybe a second. I'm going to stop talking now.
Sarks peeks around and gets that final kill with the shotgun, but there was a sound.
What has been the problem for them throughout that half? I thought Blitz might have been a bit of a nuisance to try.
Kind of force his way back in there again, to be honest. Let's see the mirror window opening up. This could be really nice. I love that from Yogg. Just waiting for that window to pop. You can't leave yourself.
He goes too wide. You're looking for the shield. The swing could come on through. Has to be really careful. Where's the player down below? Knocked down and surely finished off. There it is. Although Yogg gets down across the other side as well. So they get one Tim, but they lose another elsewhere. Not so ideal for VP.
Naquo is low health, but manages to make the most of the health that they've got. Finishing off a kill series. He's like one shot now.
I mean, he died last round reloading.
Yeah.
Come on, man.
There we go. Grubby manages to find the kill. Just taking too much chip damage along the way, essentially. When you're playing a shield like that, you've got to be able to get aggressive and get up into their faces, and that ability is taken away from Naquo when he's taken so much damage. Aware of Grubby's position. Got overly aggressive, maybe. The plant was going down from Pasha, but now has to come off it to fight the 1v3. 15 seconds left to go. All full health on the side of Geekay as well. You don't fancy him for it, and neither does Grubby. Pops around the corner.
They want to execute on the window, and in fact, they're saying, you know what, YOLO, we're going to go for it and hope for the best. Naquo's made the cross. Is there a C4 to come? There's 3 of them, Tim. They've got to go deep, and that's exactly what he's trying to do. It's a bit of the bait. I love it, Tim. They baited it out entirely. The stars run through. They've EMP'd out one of those C4s, and they've managed to stick it. What a great adaptation to the plant, making use of the shield to charge in deep. Naquo able to get himself involved. Now down. Not looking good, because Groovey's got a 2K through the back of smoke and taking the shield down. But the problem is the spot is so hard to be able to recover. They've got Pasha with fire in back pocket to be able to lay down on the diffuser is so required. Will he dare try and go for a long arm? I don't know. On the vertical rappel, he sees the gun, sees the man. No! Pasha looking the wrong way. Down with it now, all to recover. Drops down low, and he's been finished off. Groovy the Hunter has pursued every man on Virtus.pro. Gets a 4K in the round. They're going up to 6 and 5.
Absolutely beautiful clutch. I'm gonna say.
Hello. He's just waddled into sight, Tim. He's like, guys, I'm in sight. I don't have the diffuser, but I'm in sight, by the way. Dan's been finished off at the very least. It's all good being in sight, but you've got to start getting kills, I'm afraid, Rorik. But he's been taken down as well. That is not ideal. Sky's low inside of Trophy.
Move at the minute, and that is a huge problem for Virtus.pro. Sensing the challenge coming around the corner, going to be down Pasha, an unusual one, just down during the animation of coming through the window. Will be finished off by
Groovy wants
5
it all.
versus 2. Groovey's desperate to finish this.
He's got 2 in the round, Tim. He can find himself a couple more here, make it up to 18 and 6 after a pretty dismal start to the game. He's been like lightning in this second half. You can't contain him. You cannot stop him. Ass makes it a double in the round, and there's the last for Yogg. What a fantastic comeback from Geekay, Tim.
Let's see where these bans go then. Is it going to make any easier or harder, particularly in what VP do to defend here? Solid Snake.
Good news. And knows that he could get swung at any moment for a couple of directions here, so he's got to have some a bit of support, and sure enough, that support is there. But just as Yogg threats that gun back up, the player steps out. Pasha in towards one. Yupa getting the trade back. Sky's also on his backside. This ain't looking bad at all here. 2 kills for Yupa, Tim. Geekay off and flying here in round 1, 4v2.
Yeah, effectively. Skies does get picked up to bring it back to 4v3. 20 seconds left to go. That's going to be the big factor, but the diffuser is going down. Ask is going to stick this plant as well. And although Pasha manages to get one, there's going to be a couple of kills come in. Geekay looking good on this first attack so far. Virtus.pro have been backs to the wall throughout the round pretty much. And they have now lost all but one of their lives. Pasha half health and looking to start moving forward, but they've got him covered from every angle. Grubby picks up another on the day. Worth remembering that those were my magnets can impact nitros as well if they've been stolen away. So definitely could be some value. There's a bit of value. Pasha manages to take the head off the Blackbeard. 5 versus 4. Great entry. Also going to see Sarks taken down as well. Unlikely to be collected, I would have said at this point. Dan, Skies, 1 apiece. It's looking like a flawless round here, as you say. Virtus.pro just covering each other beautifully. Pasha with the second in the round. Great stuff from them. 1-1.
Like, you can be forgiven for...
So they're going to be limited now to whatever verticals they've got, because they do have no more soft charges. They've got to do better than that on the blitz. Really do. He had him knocked down there. He's got him dead to rights, but allowed the Fenrir to get back on his feet and lost his life. 4 versus 2.
Groovey's been having a bit of a demon map, as we know, on the previous one. Wants to convert it into a second, but there's 2 of them ready. A shotgun at close range and 1 at distance. Doesn't know about the second, and Rorik gets him in the back. Easy close out for Virtus.pro, Tim. 2-1 up, and most importantly...
A 5-1 half wouldn't surprise me here. Geekay, they've shown utility to try and challenge him, and he does a great job of keeping that shield in hand and keeping it active. Rorik manages to find Ask. That's going to level things up. 4 versus 4. Got the Thorn off the board on one side and the Zephyr on the other. Rorik with a second rips the head off Sarks. Beautiful reverse angle with that SMG, and this is where Nako starts getting more and more powerful now as the erosion hurts Geekay.
Yeah, and you got the mirror on tight as well. You got Pasha with a shotgun, the ITA. Historically not the best at getting kills. I know a lot of our secondary shotguns got buffs about, I can't remember how long ago it was now, but can still be pretty lethal at close range, Tim. Just ready and waiting, but the problem is, I was going to say, an angle being held like that, you will not win it with a shotgun. So it's got to be so careful. Groovey's back in, and he loses out towards 1. Pasha's got both. Have a little BITA that.
Well, Geekay so far, it looks like that teamwork's just slipping a little bit. You need somebody peeking this at the same time. There it comes, but then the nade throw isn't good enough. He's able to win the fight. He gets 2, 4v2. They've just not done well enough on clearing those stairs, and it's because the timing has been off.
Timing's been off, but it's also large and forgivable for you to let a player get 3 kills sat in a spot like that where he's really pinned in. Yeah, a nade from the bottom, great on towards the bar, but then also get one down the long haul if you need to force him to take one fight or the other, or he gets blown up, and then you just hold the angle and wait. But giving him 1v1 after 1v1 after 1v1 is a bit of a sting. Nako collects another. Ask gets at least 1 back, but this round is only going one way, and I don't think it's towards Ask. Although he certainly gives
Yeah, a little peek through the drone hole doesn't work out.
Go on. Double, just blow it. Just go on. Blow it. That's it. And again.
Really trying. He's done very little damage overall. Rorik takes a little bit there, but
damage, you madman. What you on about?
was it enough, Des? It was very little.
Patch strategy that we saw announced back at SI, we will see these more incremental changes as we go. They've completely missed Pasha. Team gets the freebie, sprints round. No, how wasn't he ready? Sarks down on the deck, sees him first, and no, I thought Pasha had him dead to rights. Sarks does get the Sky's the one who's off skulking. He's in behind two of them here potentially. Could be a bit of a car crash if they're not responsive. They're not responsible about this, and they've got a flank draw on the go. Anything to help them? Not too sure they do. Starting to round his way forward, so they know that he's coming in towards the side. No, they don't, Tim. It's far too easy. Just showing there's a little bit of work to do, I'm afraid, here, unfortunately, for Geekay, and not this map in particular, but in terms of their planning, because they have been blindsided far too many times this half. It's a repeat of last week.
Actually, don't matter. They're still going to try and win it, but even if they lose them, it's like, go.
We're looking at the second one coming in here for the defenders as well.
Yeah, it all makes sense, right?
Nice and close to the Goyo is there. He's drawing a lot of eyelets, and we always speak about shields and say how they're just pulling a lot of attention, and sure enough, he's trying to isolate a 1v1. Bashes in and has got rid of Groovy, and like that, everything starts to explode. Geekay scattered to the high winds as they get hunted down by Virtus.pro. A 5v3, what a fantastic start.
And this is what we mean when we...
Being low because they know what the game plan's going to be.
Yeah, they're only going to have about 10 seconds left inside of Horse to get anything moving. Damage is done to Ask, but he's holding on for now. Yogg manages to get one, takes down Rorik. We hear the Candelas coming in. Naqor is not in a position to plant yet. They need rid of Ask. They get it done. He has to start throwing this down. He does with 1.5 seconds left on the clock. Yogg tries to move in, does find the first. He's not going to be able to stop the plant. Cannot find a man. Skies gets the kill, and Virtus.pro go on to match point.
Higher map, looking to get them finished off. Ask, already pretty low at this point, so I mean that's only on the starting point. Right idea to assume someone is coming up, Eagle, because there are two players at the bottom of it. That also helping give them a little bit of breathing room, and then Skies. What a map he's having, by the way. 12 and 3 moves up to. Deleting them on the reverse angle through the floor. Not ideal to lose Ask at that point in the round, given he still has one of those smoke canisters available.
He's unstoppable right now, Skies, and continues to be so. There's another challenge coming in. Picks up Grubby. It's just absolutely free for him right now. 3 versus 3 as Rorik is taken down. Geekay are holding on for the time being, but Starks is going to be down but not out. It's effectively a trade, as you say. Leaves us now 2 versus 2. Naqor moving forward, trying to take ground. I like that, but he's going to be chased down by the Blackbeard now. Manages to do a bit of damage to Naqor. Naqor's got to close this gap quickly. Can't do it though. Yupo manages to get the kill. It's all up to Skies. Can't close it out. Yupo with a double, and that's going to be Geekay holding on for another round. As I said, it's just one.
But again, that hasn't changed. That's something else that Virtus.pro needs to adapt to in some way. So realised that he stepped through the smoke there, going to spray anyway and hope for the very, very best, and Dan still goes down anyway. Sark's good for one, Groovy in for another. I don't want to get too excited, but they're starting to look pretty good here into a 4 versus 2. Make it a 4v1. Dare I say they're looking quite dominant across these last couple of rounds. Can they really pull off what would be the comeback of comebacks?
They're looking great at the minute. They've still got that third choice site left to come, so, you know, we can't get too excited just yet. They've still got this one to finish off. Pasha gets one, nearly finds the second. 1v3 becomes a 1v2, and he is going to be closed down as he goes to the rotate. Ask managing to find the kill, so Geekay continue fighting.
You have no advantage by being in the lead. This ain't a game where you accumulate gold or dollars or whatever that you can then roll. Got no smokes left as well. They're they're out. That's it. Now Naqor's got to be gun up and trying to get kills here, but has a 50-50 chance of really losing out there unless it's one at ridiculous long range. They're trying to swing around for one, but Dan is there to ensure Yupa falls down before he can find a kill. 2 left standing, both inside of med, neither on site. They've really got a power here, Tim. I think you can't let yourself get surrounded in this 3 versus 2. They've got to push a fight onto somebody. And maybe now Yogg is trying to look for just that, but he's got 2 players off towards his left. One bearing down on med door. This is going to get messy.
It really is. I think the next kill is critical. If Geekay get it, I think they hold on for the round. If they don't, then it's over. Razor Bloom goes off, and it looks bad for Geekay as Dan manages to find Ask through the soft wall, picks up the Asami. 1 versus 3, they know where the castle is. It's a tough gun to close this out with. It's going to be the Glass, it's going to be Naqor, it's going to be Virtus.pro.
Speak to them because we have Rorik on the line to ask him a few questions about this game. Rorik, congrats on making it all the way through to the final. How are you feeling about it after quite tense game?
Kinda little bit tired, you know, because it was an intense game, 3 maps, and we gave a lot of energy to it, especially on Chalet, but unlucky we couldn't win, couldn't finish the game. So we did it on Fortress, guys. So yeah.
Yeah, speaking about the intensity of the match, Rorik, were you surprised to see Geekay throughout the stage really progress all the way up to really challenge you guys? Because I felt you guys were dominating the entire stage, and then Geekay really had like a big momentum, and even here in the playoffs, they made it very close.
I think Geekay is kind of good team because, you know, they found their players, I think. Like they have some, like how I say it, good team play. They have like few guys who can lurk, one guy like fundamental support. Maybe they don't have shield player, I don't know, but I think they play really better right now. So that's why they're top 3, obviously. Other teams just couldn't do it.
Rorik,
So-
speaking of your team, actually, obviously, you know, you're going into the grand final now. Coming into today, you actually had 3 players from your team in the top 5 overall players of the entire league.
And you were one of them.
That was you, that was Dan, and that was Pasha as well. How do you think the system allows everybody to thrive on your team?
I think kinda it depends on roles, but mostly, you know, guys, when one guy not fragging, other guy will frag. I think if five guys won't frag, we will lose, guys. It's like kind of simple. It's a FPS game.
Yeah, thank you, Rorik.
It's a FPS game, guys.
I want this on a tile, and I'm gonna put it somewhere in my
Just
bedroom.
take my
Like,
spot
That's
already,
our
Rorik.
job done.
Inspiring quote. Yeah.
So will
Wonderful.
5 guys be fragging in the final then?
Yeah, I hope so, guys. I hope so. It will be a good match against Falcons before the EWC, so I hope you will enjoy.
Yeah, and just really quickly before we let you go, because you do still have a whole match to play, how are you going to make sure you like quickly freshen up? You said you were a little bit tired. No, how are you going to get the energy back for the game?
I don't know. I will go shower, sleep like 1 hour before the game, and then come back full energy. Actually, I don't know. Like small food, I will eat, and that's all. We play.
All right, well, I unfortunately don't think you have a whole hour, but we do wish you best of luck, of course, with the preparations, and, you know, maybe we'll speak to you again after the grand final.
Yeah. Thank you very much, guys. See you.
Thank you.
Good to speak to him as well and have a little bit of a laugh about...
This is going to be a super long desk if Rorik's got to go and sleep. I will say that.
make sure-
We can talk about Siege, but
Yeah.
Make
it's
sure
just 5 guys fragging.
Make sure you have his phone number. Make sure you call him again, because I don't want him to fall asleep and then we're waiting for Rorik the
A
entire
whole
time.
hour, like that's... No,
Can't
that's
wait
fucking
for
ridiculous.
just to see. We're waiting for the lobby to be ready, and we're missing 1 player, and you guys can guess which one it is.
People in the lobby.
Yeah, we can buy him a little bit of time, but we cannot buy him a whole hour. That's absolutely not going to happen. I do really like your question, actually. Talk about like all these players being able to thrive in this kind of environment. You know, we saw Pasha being the MVP for this matchup. Is there any other player that really stood out to you today?
In my opinion, not today, but Dan. I don't know if you remember how Dan was performing with the previous VP roster. In my opinion, Dan was the biggest big delta performance between the previous roster with VP and this new roster. Dan used to be the staple player alongside Pasha all the time. Okay, maybe a little bit with Always, but I think Dan was like always up there in the top 2 players.
Yeah.
And then towards the last 4 months of VP, Dan completely disappeared. He was one of the worst rated player in EML. And then he came back with this new roster and proved to everyone it's not about Dan, it's about the team. I think in my opinion, if I have to like pick one player that we don't speak about enough on the side of VP, it's the longevity in the side of Dan, who started playing when I was playing, so back in 2019, and he's still one of the best rated players on this roster. What a comeback from this player.
5 guys fragging, right?
Yeah, 5 guys fragging. I mean, we spoke about 3, right? We spoke about Pasha. We can talk about Pasha forever. He was the king of our stage.
Yeah.
Rorik was the best rookie. Dan, you've just gone on about. I think one player who doesn't get a lot of love, really, is Skies. I think he comes in, he picks quite a tricky role. He plays quite a tricky role on this roster for VP. But even inside of that very final map, he was absolutely fragging. He was playing the Deimos, the Virtus perfectly, playing the Fenrir, playing a lot of powerful operators as well.
Yeah. And DMR King that didn't play DMRs here because he was on the roam with Thorn and doing a great job. I think whenever one of these guys aren't fragging, Skies can always be the backbone on the side of VP.
All right, we talked a lot about Virtus.pro here, of course, as they'll be progressing on to play in our grand final. But of course, we're going to talk about Geekay a little bit as well. In fact, we get to speak with them. Groovy, you're joining us for...
He did say see you tomorrow. He did say see you
I was
tomorrow.
going to say, Groovy, you're joining us for the interview. Unfortunately, not in the way that you would have hoped with losing the game here. But tell us how you're feeling after this match.
Well, I mean, to be fair, it sucks to lose games like this, you know, but like, the lives goes on. Like, we have the EWC to play. We did our best, kind of, I think. And then that's all pretty much, you know, that's how we feel it. Of course, like, we can be a bit like upset or sad, but it's just like losing is just part of the game, and you have to understand that you cannot always win, you know.
Grubby, how proud are you actually of the journey of this team? I think, you know, look at the very, very early days of Stage 1 and even the team's performance in kickoff as well. And then to say, if you'd have said to me after 3 or 4 play days that you guys were going to end up finishing third, top 3, I think that's like phenomenal growth across the stage.
About the journey of the team, I think we worked like through many things, you know, like we didn't have much time to scrim like early at the stage. That's why the first games in EML were looking a bit like shaky for us, and we practiced more because like you had to move to Europe, like we had to understand how the game works in Europe, like we had to teach, like, you know, change the plays a bit from the NA and Brazilian one. So yeah, we did a lot of like steps to make this team work, how to like work with all of those players, and well, I would say it paid off, you know, like we should all be happy, like, you know, from the last plays, like the kickoff, like we did huge improvement. People were not like looking forward to those roster changes, but we kind of proved them wrong that the team can perform, and even without like the proper IGL early in the stages, because we did have like issues with the IGL, like we had to change many people, you know, first Ask was IGLing, then House IGLing, then we changed back to us, and finally it was me again. So as I said, we went to many things, but I'm just proud of everyone, you know. I'm proud because I'm proud of like Upor, for example, you know, I'm proud of Sarks, like, you know, those people like we picked up, they showed up in the important matches, and I'm happy for them, you know. I'm happy to see this team develop, and I think we can keep going on, you know, keep working hard.
And focusing on the future now, you know, you said you went from Ask back to you, back to Ask, back to you. At this point, do you think you figured out the formula going into EWC? What's going to be the prep like? Talk to us a little bit about, you know, the next few weeks you have upcoming.
I mean, for sure, I'm the main IGL for the team, and it's been working since the Heretics game, so we will never change that. But I think for us, the most important thing for the EWC is to, well, I think we kind of have to work on map understanding sometimes, and how to play the game on certain like maps. For example, like we faced VP right on Fortress, and like we knew how to counter it. Like in our heads, we knew how to counter it, but we couldn't really show that in game, you know. And I think it's like, like the pressure comes to you that, you know, you have to come back, you have to, like, we know how to come back because we did excellent comeback on Chalet, but I think the more time like you spend on coming back, I think you lose your head kind of, you know. And I think the pressure got to us, even though we knew how they play and how to counter it, like we are not able to put the foot on the gas and just like roll over them, for example, and they did play good, you know. So I think we just have to work on our head pretty much. I would say like the confidence and the composure, just to stay composed in the game. And a bit maybe on the map knowledge on certain like situations, like for example the Fortress, we can improve a bit. I mean, there's a lot of things that we could improve, you know. I think, like, if you guys want me to be honest, I think on Fortress I felt like the first attack was perfect, but then the second and third I felt like the nightmares from the first games of game, they like shout back again, you know, and we're like, oh, okay, like we need to reset, guys. And like I mean we did our best, you know. VP is also a hard team to play. We have to say that, we have to admit that they are like, they do have like playstyle like I call like an equal playstyle. I would say that it's weird to play against. Like they know how to play the game, so it's always gonna be a tough game. But from my opinion, like the game should be over on Constrate. You know, I think the Constrate was very close. Like the way I was dying on Constrate, I was losing my head 5 times 1 HP. I was losing my head. But yeah, for EWC we just have to focus on the confidence, I would say, and the maps, and that's all.
Right, seems very fair. Firstly, Grubby, you know, interviews after losing a game aren't easy. So first off, we really appreciate you for taking the time and talking to us about not just this game, but also your journey. And with this being the last time that we speak to you in Stage 1, is there anything you want to say to the fans?
Well, I want to say to the fans, thank you for supporting us. Thank you, Alchi, for watching my games every day with my friends. So yeah, just thank you, everyone, and see you guys at EWC. Hopefully we can achieve something big there, and we're gonna keep working hard.
Awesome. It's always great to speak. It's always great to speak to you, Grubby, and good luck at EWC.
Yeah, thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you.